Good evening, Masters. Welcome to tonight's session. My name is Namita and I will be your host tonight. Welcome to all day 5. And so far, I'm enjoying these sessions a lot. I hope you do too. So tonight's topic is healthy boundaries, and it will be conducted by Senior Master Radhika Mehrotra, ma'am. So without any delay, let's pass it on to ma'am and welcome all, ma'am as well. Welcome, ma'am.
I would request everyone to now simply focus within. If you are wearing your glasses, I would request you to kindly remove your glasses. Sit in quiet and peace, knowing that you're taken care of, everything is amazing. Just be with your breath. Simply observe how your breath is going in and how your breath is out. Simply remember, as you're taking each breath in and each breath out, you're going deeper in the universe that you hold in your womb. Energy. As the rhythm of your breath brings healing, compassion, love, kindness within your heart. Let all thoughts go, and whenever a thought disturbs, simply go back to your breath. Just be with your gentle, natural, easy breath, my dear friends, my dear thoughts, and movements.
Last 10 seconds. Do not open your eyes. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Keep your palms on your eyes. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. And open your eyes when you're ready. Give yourself a huge round of applause. And I welcome all to day 5, to this amazing session. I hope everybody had a good meditational experience. I think somewhere in between my mic stopped working. Some glitches happened and my voice wasn't audible. But yeah, I think whatever energy that was supposed to be set for today, that happened.
Ma'am, it's beautifully happened. After, I just want to say, after a long time, today I have a beautiful meditation. It's within 30 minutes. I feel so much.
I am so happy to hear that, truly.
Yeah, I was just thinking
happy.
today that it's been a while, like I had a nice, proper meditation. Like I feel totally relaxed. Today was the day.
Wow, that's amazing. That's a beautiful experience. Thank you for sharing that.
No worries.
So, without further ado, I'm glad that you guys are having exceptional meditational experiences. I just want to, before I start, I want to ask, is my voice loud and clear? Like you're able to hear it properly? Like it's
yes, ma'am.
Should be okay. Great, thank you. So yeah, let's begin without wasting any more time. So today the topic is very close to my heart because this is something I have learned with a lot of hard work, truly, because it was not easy for me to do this. I have been a very docile, very easily influenced, a big time emotional fool. So I've been that. And what I forgot amidst being the person that I am, which is now my power, I forgot to create my boundaries, allowing someone to, use me like a doormat at a lot of times. But again, I'm very grateful to those people because uh, I I am today what I am because of the behavior that I was put through. And as Sir always said, everybody comes in our life for a reason. It's a reason. There's a reason why people come to our lives, because everyone is a teacher, right? So today's topic is healthy boundaries. What are boundaries foremost? Let's get to understanding boundaries. Boundaries are like guidelines, rules, or limits that a person creates to identify themselves, what are reasonable, permissible, safe ways to behave around them. Again, it's like a guideline, a rule or limit that an individual will set towards the other person to tell them to demarcate that there are certain ways, certain permissible ways, certain behavioral actions, certain safe measures that they need to put forward to be in connection with me. And in return, I as a person will do the same for that person, because if I'm asking for that person to respect my boundary, that thin line, the invisible line which I have created, I will do the same for that person. And I would want the individual, whoever is creating, like if I am creating that boundary, I would want the other individual to not step out of those boundaries, to not step, just be in that boundary line, like do not come to my way. I mean, be there where you are. That is because that's my invisible line. And the more precise an individual can express the boundary, anyone that is, the more likely the boundaries will be respected. There would be times that you would have to repeat yourself over and over, especially if you are in a relationship with that person, or it's your very close family or friend, or your professional setup. You might have to repeat yourself, but you do not have to be apologetic for that. Take as much as it takes to tell the other person that this is a boundary and they cannot cross, no matter who it is, whether it is your wife, husband, your in-laws, your friends, your colleagues, your children, for that matter. No matter who it is, you tell them over and over again. And the easiest way to think about about what a boundary is, I mean, I know I'm going like to the nitty-gritties of it, to the most simplest of things, but sometimes it's important to remind ourselves. So the easiest way to think of a boundary is like a property line. When you buy a property, there's this line this like a fence that you create around it, and it's a physical fence, and where we might see no trespassing sign, that there is no you can't trespass, you can't enter that line. Now, something physical, because it is physical, it is very easy to understand. Okay, there is a fence created outside this boundary property, and there's a no trespassing sign, and I must not enter. That's very easy to understand, because there's a clear sign. How do you create this fence around you? And I'm not asking to create a wall. What I'm asking is to create this fence around you as well, which is an invisible line, and you have to tell people that, okay, this is that line and you cannot cross this. It is important that you must not cross this. And while that physical boundary is very easy to picture, easy to understand, personal boundaries can be hard to define because these lines are invisible. They can change, and they can evolve from time to time, because each individual is very unique. For example, somebody was your friend 2 years ago, you were pretty close to that person, then they did something, and then you guys stopped talking, and then again they entered your life. But probably you have evolved as an individual. You would not be the same for that person. So your boundaries, which were different at that point in time, will be different now. And you are not answerable to them for why your boundaries have evolved or why your boundaries are what they are today. So boundaries, like something this is intangible, okay? And also this is something which is very, very unique to you. So it can evolve and change with time as well. A physical boundary won't, but this boundary can, right? So to boil it down, boundaries, a personal boundary or a healthy boundary is basically like invisible lines that are determined by the amount of physical and emotional space, any physical or emotional space that an individual will allow between themselves and the others. Any personal boundary will help you understand what type of communication, behavior, and interaction are acceptable to you. So this is like core definition of what a boundary is. Now, coming to a very, very important aspect, that is, why is it important to have a boundary? Why it is important to have healthy personal boundaries in life? When we set healthy boundaries, it is like you're limiting and you're placing those limits around your time, around your body, around your emotions, and around your mental health to stay resilient, to stay solid and content with who you are. Wherein you do not permit someone to tell you how to be, how to behave, how to be emotionally. Oh my God, you are a man, how can you cry? Oh my God, you're a woman, you have to sit like this. Excuse me, who are you to tell me that? I'm a man and I want to cry buckets. You're no one to tell me to stop. I'm a woman and I will sit with my legs going south and north. You will not tell me how to sit. I'm a woman, you will not tell me when to have a baby. I'm a man, you will not tell me if I want to sit at home and do meditation all day long. That is my boundary. You cannot cross that. So basically these boundaries are important because you're telling the society to please shut your mouth and don't tell me what I need to do. Especially when it is interfering with your personal decisions. We are very mentally healthy enough to know that there are certain societal acceptable behaviors, and we are sane citizens of a society, but that doesn't mean that we get them to rule us. And that is why we are here today, what we are doing, right? So when you create those boundaries, you become resilient, you become bold, you become very accepting of yourself, of who you are. You truly accept that rawness, that boldness within you, without being sorry for it, without being apologetic, and you create a drama free life. That is why these boundaries are very important, because how they help you, they create that border which empowers you from being used, from being manipulated, from being told stories, from being, from being created, or being trapped into any toxic kind of a situation. And we set these boundaries to practice self-care and self-respect, to communicate our needs clearly in a relationship, whatever relationship it is, whether personal or professional, to make time and space for positive interactions in our life, and to set limits in any way, in any kind of a relationship, because it is important, no matter what kind of a relationship it is. And who all you can set your boundaries with. The boundaries can be set with family, with friends, in a romantic relationship, with co-workers, with strangers. And now we come to my most favorite part of the topic, which is 7 types of absolute boundaries that everyone should know about. Now, before I get into the nitty-gritties of this, as pyramid masters, we are all very giving. We're all very giving. We do not think of our time. We do not think of our energy. We do not think of, if a person is coming to us, oh my God, I have this problem. A pyramid master will be the first to run. Okay, I'll give you my 10 hours on the phone. I will be there 10 hours with you on the phone, and I will not hang up until unless you feel okay. I will make you meditate. No matter if my child is crying, the food is being, the food is, going rotten, or, somebody is dying in my family, I will look after you. This is what a pyramid master does. I've seen that happen. I've seen that happening with myself. And sometimes we forget to set that boundary. So this is one of the boundaries we'll be talking about today. And it is absolutely important for empaths like us, because I have seen 90% of the pyramid masters, of the co-travelers that we are today, they are empaths. And if you're an empath, it is very easy to understand why we forget to create boundaries. And it is so important to create a boundary. So first is the physical boundary. Very easy to understand, very basic. Physical boundaries include the needs for your personal space, your comfort with touch, and your physical needs like needing rest or drinking water, or doing whatever you want to do. Normal physical boundary, very easy to understand. It is you setting limits with any kind of physical things around you. Second is emotional boundary. This is like the biggie, the one that we hold like, stones and rocks on our back. So what is an emotional boundary? It is to it refers to a personal feeling of a person, any kind of emotion that might occur. And a healthy emotional boundary includes limitation on when to share and what to share, like your personal information with a person. You are allowed to withhold or share any kind of personal information with the opposite person sitting in front of you. It can be anyone, no matter how close you are to that person. For example, gradually sharing personal information during the development of a relationship, very easy to understand again, as opposed to revealing everything to everyone. Emotional boundaries are violated when someone criticizes you or belittles you or invalidates you on your emotions. If you are being made felt insecure, if you are being invalidated on your emotions, or if somebody is criticizing you, oh, you can't feel that way, please know that's a red flag. And you create your emotional boundary there. Nobody gets to tell you how you should feel. Yes, if somebody is truly in concern with you, they might want to reason out with you in a very loving manner, in a very respectable manner. They will never belittle you, they will never criticize you, and they will never invalidate your feeling. So know when their red flag is there. And it is not just in romantic relationships. I was mostly invalidated by my school teachers and my family members. I've seen that happening in my childhood. And that is why I'm able to speak about this today. invalidation is the most dangerous form of toxicity that a person can allow in their life without even knowing. You might be doing it to your children, you might be doing it to yourself, you might be doing it unknowingly. So know if you're invalidating your own feelings or someone else in your life, emotional boundary. Then comes the boundary of time boundary. Demanding too much of another's time or giving too little of your time to someone else who truly deserves it, it is violating a time boundary. A simple example, I'll give 2-3 simple examples to understand time boundary. For example, you know that your best friend is very, very punctual. Just give me a moment, please. Sorry. So if you know you have a friend who's very, very punctual, it's not that you are not punctual, but because of your daily commitments or whatever, you might get late to a point, right? Now, you decide that you're going to be meeting 5 p.m. on one evening. Now, you miss out on the boundary. And this is something that has been repeating repeatedly from your end. And it's not something you want, but this is happening, repeating the loop of you're not reaching on time to meet that friend. You are violating their time boundary. Again, this is a boundary. Again, if you are in a romantic relationship or if you are a mother, if your child is demanding too much of your time, or you are demanding too much of the time of the person you're involved with, or you're demanding anybody's time, or you're giving very less time to your child or to your spouse or to your family members or to your friends, in both situations, there is a time boundary which is not being set. So we must set that boundary. We need to see if we are okay. Now, everything does not have to go into black and white. Of course, there are situational things also. Sometimes we are in a situation where we are not able to do these boundaries, which I am talking about right now. We have to see if the cyclic nature is being repeated. If you are not keeping these boundaries on a regular basis, if that's a cyclic process, if it's like you're in a loop, then these boundaries are being violated. And it's important to understand and be in awareness how to not break those boundaries. So this was the time boundary. Fourth, very, very, very extremely important, sexual boundaries. Very important. Whether you are married, not married, in a relationship, not in a relationship, your needs and the needs of your partner are of utmost importance. Sexual boundaries are meant to protect your right to consent, to ask what you like sexually, and to expect honesty about your past partner's sexual history, implementing the same for yourself. Whatever you demand from the other person, you should always return the same to the other person. And gender be no bias here. You can't play a woman's card or a man's card or whatever. If you are in a relationship, sexual boundaries must be protected at all cost. Both of you as partners should get to decide what is permissible and safe means to be sexually involved with each other. Mutual respect is the key to sexual boundary. Respect, love is the other thing. Love develops over time. If there is no respect, the foundation of a relationship is totally berserk. It is not there. It does not exist. Nada, zero. It's not there. So to kind of conclude on the sexual boundaries define what kind of sexual touch and intimacy you want, how often, when, where, and with whom. You should be able to decide that. It is totally your thing. Respecting it for yourself and for the other person involved. Very, very important. Sexual boundaries also involves any kind of physical touch. Again, gender be no bias. Whether you're a transgender, you're a man, you're a woman, you should be clear about certain aspects. You do not like being touched in a certain way. You should be clear about that. I am sorry, this is a boundary you cannot cross. I am a very, very physical person in my life. I love hugging people. I love to hug. I'm very open to hug people. But again, sometimes people forget that let me come to you. Okay. I might know someone, they are people who I feel safe with. If you see me running to them and I'm hugging them, and I'm really giving this is as a personal example, because I know that person, I am comfortable hugging that person. Again, gender be no bias. If I go hug Pari, if I go hug my husband, if I'm literally running to my guy friend and I'm hugging that person, it's because I know them. I feel safe. Allow me to come to you. Don't just come running. If I don't know you, just don't expect me to hug you the same way. Again, just a very simple example. And it is what I'm saying is this applies to you also. Sometimes you must be a very physical person that you're okay with being touched or hugging or whatever. But you can absolutely decide who you want to do this energy exchange with. Let people think that you are rude. It is okay. You get to decide who you are comfortable with. As simple as that. Again, gender be no bias. Fifth, intellectual boundaries. Now, what are intellectual boundaries? Intellectual boundaries are not spiritual boundaries, guys. The spirituality and intellectual stuff do go hand in hand. Sorry for that tongue twister here, but they are not the same. There is a bit of difference, and that's why intellectual boundaries and spiritual boundaries have a different space and their own definition to the 7 types of boundaries. So intellectual boundaries are where, it refers to your thoughts, your ideas, and it can be about anything. In fact, that those ideas and those thoughts can be about spirituality itself. It can be about the books you want to read, the dress you want to wear, what you think about politics, what you think about Mother Nature, what you think about other things. I know this is a very boring topic, but it's very important for us to understand this deeply. It's a very basic thing, but we forget to implement or imply that to other people or implement it in our life, right? So healthy intellectual boundaries include respecting others' ideas and an awareness of appropriate discussion, that should we discuss the weather or should we discuss the politics. For example, you are a meditator, the other person is not. You have to see if you are not breaking the other person's intellectual boundary also. You should know who is in that receiving mode. If somebody is not in a receiving mode, you are simply wasting your energy. You are breaking your own boundary and their boundary also. So it's best to respect your boundary and not speak about it to a person who's not in a receiving mode. Intellectual boundaries are violated when someone dismisses or belittles another person's thoughts or ideas. We all can have a different point of view or a belief system or a thought pattern. However, we must always come from a place of respect and no judgment for the other. Just because you are spiritual, you are a meditator, does not make you better than the other person. It is very easy to get into an ego trap. Oh, I meditate. Oh, I am a vegetarian. Oh, that person is a non-vegetarian. Oh, they don't meditate. So it's their life. Who are we to judge? Let them come to you. Let them come to that space. It does not allow meditation or being a meditator or being on a spiritual path or being aware does not give us the green card to be egoistic. Always be humble, always be kind, always be compassionate, and that is how you change the world. If you go to someone with ego or with a mindful of yourself, they will never listen to you, no matter how right you are. You are speaking the ultimate truth, but they will not listen to you because you are in ego. So always go with compassion. So not, always respecting somebody's intellectual boundary. Material boundary, very easy to understand. Your property is yours. Something you do not want to share with someone, which is a physical thing, it is yours. Material boundary should be respected. You have a great bond with your sister. There is a t-shirt that she wants to take from you. You do not want to give it. You can simply say, okay, this is my t-shirt. You can maybe, this is something I do not want to share. Probably I can buy something for you. Giving a very, I think, even below simplicity example right now, just to make understand. Any kind of property, possession, anything material that you hold, you don't want to share, it's okay. Come to that place of sharing. Giving and sharing and receiving is a very, very important thing for pyramid masters, but it is okay sometimes if you do not want to share something. You can come to that place later. Not violating yourself or violating anybody else's material boundary either. And then comes the last and again, one of the most important boundaries, spiritual and energetic boundary. And with this, after this, we will open the forum for questions. Spiritual and energetic means any boundary, which is spiritual and energetic, means upholding unseen boundaries, which is as important as upholding physical boundaries. Very, very important. we are all energetically connected. All of us right now here in this moment also, we are all energetically connected with each other. And this is not something you have to believe. Like, I do not have to prove anything. I know we are connected. You just feel it. You cannot see it. I cannot validate it, but we feel it that there is an energy which is connecting all of us. It just is. Okay. And that means our energies mingle with those people who we are interacting with or who we surround ourselves with. Like I said yesterday, always remember the 5 people that you surround yourself with. This is exactly how your energy is going to be. So our spiritual and energetic boundaries are like a body and aura defense system to keep the body and energy field clear and healthy. When we create a spiritual and energetic boundary for us, we are again creating invisible lines of safe and permissible ways to energetically connect with someone. Spiritual and energetic boundaries keep unwanted energies, emotions, and pain from other people out of our system. And that is why cord cutting, grounding, meditation is so important. And for me personally, as a coach, because I also do practice certain esoteric scientific tools in my life, whether it is crystals or my cards or whatever it is, it's of utmost importance that I take care of the fact that I am energetically clear. So creating that boundary wherein you are creating safe, permissible ways of interaction energy wise with the other person, it helps you keep a healthy field of clear aura, more positivity around you. So these were the 7 boundaries that we must always uphold for ourselves and for others to live a very simple, clutter-free, amazing life. So being a meditator, it is very important that we see these boundaries are being upheld for ourselves and for other people. And with that, I will take a pause. I hope that I did not rush today. Nobody felt I was running into the topic and it was easy to understand. And we have opened the forum for discussion. So if anybody has questions, please feel free to ask. Perfect. Thank you for sharing, Kalpana.
Yes, Master. Who would like to go first? I think Shivani wants to go first.
Yes.
Hello, ma'am. Thank
Hi,
you for a
Shivani.
wonderful session again.
Thank you.
I just want more light into, how to keep a ego check when you are meditator. How, like you said, it's very easy to fall into ego trap.
Yes.
And though we know, we are all equal, we need to be humble. It sometimes does happen. So, and how to control that, how to just eliminate from your reality.
I mean, I would say if you're able to question this, and I'm sure there will be other people who would resonate with this question, the moment you are questioning this is because you're a very, very aware being. It's not that you are in that ego trap. We are in this human suit, we are in this human body, and it's very easy to go into that flow, to go into there. But the moment you realize, okay, maybe something is amiss, maybe I'm going into that ego trap, it's very easy to retract also. So it's as simple as, maybe let's just say you and I are discussing. Probably I know something about one topic and you are right now in your research. I read about that thing, let's say 1 year back, and you are currently researching. Now I have an idea that, okay, no, I to know this about this pyramid very well. But no, Shivani will come and tell me, Radhika, there is something which has happened. This is something new. I was like, no. How can you say that? I have been there, I have done this, and I will go into this loop of I. Like Radhika is not ready to listen to Shivani. And that's why where I have created an ego trap for myself that I do not want to listen to the other person also. So the self-check comes in, okay, Radhika, you need to stop. Please listen to what the other person has to say. Maybe there is something more to offer. So that is why Sir always said, as teachers, it is always equal giving and equal receiving. If I am telling you something, I'm also learning so much from you guys. And the learning always is not, verbal. It can be through thoughts. It can be the feeling that we have, the intentions we uphold. So I hope I answered your question.
Yes. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Shivani. Thank you so much.
Hello, Kanchanji. Would you like to go next?
Thank you so much, Namita.
Hi,
Namaste.
Kanchan.
for this wonderful session you gave. And
Thank
yeah,
you.
actually, I felt this egoistic part. I felt it today. Just like 1 hour back, I realized, experienced, and coming out from it. And thank you for raising this alarm again. Yes, we need to be. We are going. My question is, ma'am, about the last experience which you shared. It's
Mhm,
an energetic boundary. How we can
mhm.
work part more, because we remain normally around us in the official environment, and a lot many places we have the different kind of energy levels. People are
Mhm.
around us. So just little more light on it. How we can work on that part.
Yes, of course. One thing is we should never confuse energetic boundaries or spiritual boundaries with creating aura locks. You know, a lot of people will say, lock your aura, do this. You don't have to lock your aura. You don't have to, close yourself down, because if you close yourself, there will never be a healthy energy exchange between you and the other person. How do you then share your vibration of being a meditator with the vibration of the other
Yeah,
person who might be interested to take that vibration? So how do you really do that? Very easy thing is, you always visualize a white light which is very positive, which is something that you resonate with, showering upon you when you walk out of your house. The moment you're stepping out of your house, just see that white light flowing from you, on flowing into you from your to your crown chakra from the divine above, and just feel that it has protected you completely. You do not have to lock yourself. You can easily share your vibration with the other people without being, without your boundaries of spirituality or your energy being trespassed by someone else. And intention, intention that I am in a healthy communication with the other people. I am completely protected, completely confident in my own aura, in my own body. Whoever is going to do that energy exchange with me, it's going to be in a very healthy, and the ways I permit them to speak to me energy wise. Anything that does not resonate with my energy, does not resonate with my auric field, does not resonate with me and my path, drops down then and there. It does not reach me. And I am aware that this is being taken care of at all times. Some of the affirmations that you
got
can
it,
do.
ma'am.
Some of the affirmations. And before you sleep in the night, Pari always say, ground yourself. Cord cutting. Cord cutting is as easy as just simply seeing all the cords, all the energy that you've taken through the day, the people that you've communicated with, you just take your power back. Simply speaking into the universe, I take my power back, all the interaction, all the energy, or any energy that does not resonate with me, that does not resonate with my aura, does not resonate with the reality that I'm in, it's going away from me, and I take all my energy back from the places that I've spent it. Any energy which is not mine, it goes away. Any energy which is mine, it comes back to me, and I take my power back right now. And this is like a every night cycle activity that you do, and you sleep after that. That's it.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It's a beautiful one, because the
Thank you.
first one you said, like, because I heard lot about it, closing your close your aura and something. So I was just confusing myself whether it
Hmm.
is this, and this is the same question was in my mind, that how
Mhm.
then it will come to the attraction part, that if you are on a little
Mhm.
bit of higher vibration, how you are going
Yeah,
to help the person who is at a little low, but they want to come in this part, and that
correct,
attraction won't happen. But
correct.
yes, thank you so much for clearing out. And yes,
Thank
this
you,
cord
Kanchan.
cutting is really, really beautiful. I'm going to
Thank
work
you,
out
Kanchan.
on it. Those are the
And
beautiful things.
I also want to add one thing. Sometimes what happens is, even when we want to be open, when we want to be very vocal about the energy that we hold, and we want to help people, maybe they do not have the best of intentions for us. Sometimes we might have to lock our aura. Sometimes we might have to take a step which is harder for us to do, because simply we do not resonate with that energy. Your heart will start beating faster. You will start feeling the angst. Always listen to your body, guys. Your body
Oh,
tells you if it is going into heart, the heart
mm,
palpitations are more, your body is dropping in temperature, you're feeling hot or cold showers, or like there is hot sweat, you're feeling hot sweat, or your heart is going erratic, you're feeling anxious. Cut from that energy. Just know that person is not someone you want to interact with. Be polite, but remove yourself from that space. And it is important that you do it. Your body will always tell you, it will always warn you in various ways if some energy is not resonating with your body. Is all energy. The more we understand our body, the more we are able to understand the energy that we surround with. It's you understanding your body is like understanding Mother Nature itself. And again, there is no gender bias to it. It goes same for a man, for a woman, or whatever gender you resonate with. It's the same for everyone. So that's why grounding, knowing yourself, meditating more, it's so important. It's very important that we do that without fail. So yeah, I think that
Thank you,
will be
ma'am.
all.
In fact, I experienced this part that sometimes any conflicts about to begin, my heart starts like it's palpitating very fast. And that time I asked many times, like one or two situations comes up whenever raising the question itself. If it is giving a heart palpitation, is it somewhere we need to think on? Is it like my question is going in like the direction somewhere it is I'm losing or something?
Probably it's related more to fear or public speaking, or just it's like being in your truth, being connected to your heart is very important when you're putting out any question to anyone or to the universe itself. It's just being very in a state of truth or acceptance with yourself if it is about the question. So yeah, I think that's all. You have to see if you're coming from a state of fear or state of truth or state of love or state of whatever our heart state is at that point in time. We have to see that. We have to clearly be in awareness of where we are at that point in time. So yeah.
Ma'am, I just
Radhika,
want to
thank you.
add, recently I've been started noticing, how am I feeling after talking to a person. There are few people in my life, my friends and other friends who I interact with and I don't feel good, after that. So this, now I've started taking that as a sign that these are the energies that I need to, maintain distance. Because every time I talk to them, I don't feel good for whatever reason.
Correct. Yes. So
Yes.
I think that's where we have to drop
Yes.
interacting with them. We have to always know where we are coming from.
Yes.
So
Yes.
thank you, Kanchan, and thank you, Shivani, for adding that. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yes, Payal. So we'll speak to Namita first, and then we'll go to Payal.
No.
Okay.
Go
Yes.
to Payal ji
Please
first,
go
and then
ahead.
I will ask my question. Thanks.
Sure. Yes.
Yes, ma'am. First of all, I'm really, really grateful to you, ma'am, because, this concept of boundaries, it's so amazing for me. Last week only, my 16-year daughter, she told me, Mama, learn to define your boundaries. I was like, what is she talking about? I was like, you 16-year-old, you're telling me to define my boundaries. And I was like, I don't know, where do you read this psychology from it? There's nothing thing called boundaries. But the way you beautifully explained, then I, figured it out and related that this is the thing that I had been unconsciously doing since the last year. Ever since before, I had not defined my boundaries. I didn't know what are boundaries. And, defining boundaries was, I used to think that it's not being compassionate. How can be you a good mother, a good spouse, if you have so many boundaries? So that means you're arrogant. You're arrogant. But now, the way you said, my mind forced me to agree on this. Yes, no, it makes sense. Because first you do a lot and then you give that ego to yourself. No, see, I did so much and I didn't get the payback. So supposingly what you are saying, if I have my own boundaries, then I will not be looking for paybacks and I will not be in the ego trip.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
So yeah, I will not be looking for the payback. That means I don't have any expectations. I will not be in the ego trip. So, you actually validated what I was discovering. It's been a year. I didn't know that there is any concept like this, but I was doing it. But now, to the point that you said, yes, you have your sexual boundaries too. So, this thing is like, it makes it sound scientific that if you have your boundaries, because I was wondering, how can your meditation be effective? I mean, if your mind is so much cluttered and messed up, how can you be at ease in the meditation?
Correct.
So the last thing was really beautiful, spiritual and
Energetic boundaries. Correct.
energetic boundaries. So today I'm going to correct myself that I would like to give it where it is accepted.
Yes.
Yeah. Not just because I have benefited from it and the other I need to give, but I will correct myself that I need to give where it is being received beautifully. So thanks for the exposure and helping me correct myself.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Payal. And what you spoke about the expectations bit, that I will have no expectation. To that, I will also say that whatever we do in our lives, whatever actions we are taking, it's best to do without any expectation. I know it's very easy for me to say that because when I first got to know this concept from Sir, no expectation, I told him I'm going to marry Chirag. Chirag is my husband. He has been meditating for the past 16 years. I just joined 7 years. Sir already knew him and my family and my in-laws family. And go tell him one day, and I'm sharing a very personal example here because it's very must to understand for all. Because no expectation is also equals to no interference in anybody's life. I said, Sir, this is happening. I really like him and I want to marry him. Go marry him. You're taking the right decision. But remember one thing, no expectation. And I'm like, okay, isn't relationship about, healthy give and take? No expectations. And he just kept repeating that like, he was some AI robot and his, loop has been stuck on that. No expectation, no, and 3 times said, no expectation, no expectation. Okay, sir, no expectation. Got it. Today, I understand after 6 years almost why he said no expectation. When he goes into space, when he wants his space, he goes into space. That man. He just wants the space and he goes to space. He's like in the space only. And now I understand he is a very different individual. Just because I married him does not give me a license to hold him by his neck. Okay, I am your wife, sit here and give me attention. No, why? He has his own world. He wants to read a book. He will read a book. He will not watch a series with me. He wants to read a book. That is his space. Why will he come and sit with me and watch a series? Very simple example. But also that doesn't mean that, again, here comes the time boundaries also. Always being in balance in your life, makes you reach a point where you live a very healthy life, very decluttered life, and most importantly, very peaceful life. Where you know that you are the person who's responsible for your own happiness. No one will make you happy. You cannot make anyone happy and no one can come and make you happy. You have to stand on your 2 feet, be independent and live your life. And that is where you also start respecting boundaries for other people and for yourself. And one thing, because you said about your 16 years old daughter, I'm sorry, I'm going into too many things, but it is important since we're doing Reinvent. Sir said, never treat your child as someone who is lesser than you or who knows less. Your child is your child until they are at the age of 10. Then you are a mother, then you're a father. After that 10th year, you're only a best friend. No interference, no expectation. They want to study, okay, good. They don't want to study, okay, good. As a parent, what you can do best is to guide them, is to tell them what is best for them, but you cannot expect them to follow that lead. Let them learn because they're here to learn. Tell them about meditation, not by words, but in action. When you start meditating, when they observe the changes in you and how your life has become beautiful, they will follow. That is what happened with my husband also. He said, my parents knew what kind of a jiddi bachcha I was. I was like so stubborn, no matter what they said, I would not do it. So I just observed them. And when I saw that how the dynamics with them changed, I sat in meditation and started doing it. Children learn from action and not from words. And also, sir once said one very beautiful thing. If our world is this much, our children's world will be this much. There's an American saying there which is said, we do not own the earth, we borrow it from our children. So all we have today is borrowed from our children. They have come with a bigger soul plan, with bigger knowledge, with bigger knowing of what we know today. So the children that are even my child, whenever I have my child, will know maybe more than what I know today. So always respecting your child as an equal will not only help you create a boundary with them, but they will also help them realize your boundaries and respect you more. I know I went into deep, but it was very important topic, and I had to say all of this, what I said. So thank you for hearing me out.
No, ma'am. I'm really thankful that you added to that. And, I will also like that this is the achievement of the day. I share a lot with them. So they know that this 4:30 to 5:30 time, my classes are on hold and I'm doing some class, some class. And, she was just doing mockery of me. Mama is just, talking to her elder sister, Mama is just going in some meditation class. Today is like, I just want to know what kind of class is this? I was like, this is nothing satsang, this is reinventing yourself. Okay, just tell me, what does she talk about? I was like, she talks about this. Okay, I will also come in the class sometime. I like go to
nice. That's how you spread a word. You go share your views with the whole world and then decide who's ready to receive your wisdom and who's not ready to receive your wisdom. And that is when you start creating your boundary. Always try, always give your first step and then decide how you want to take the course forward. So thank you, Payal, for sharing your views and your question. It was a beautiful question, by the way. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Yes, Namita.
Ma'am, my question is, I don't know how to ask, but I will start. I'll make a start. So as you said, that there is emotional boundaries. Yes. So I just want to explore more on that topic, emotional boundaries. We understand, and I have experienced that when you set emotional boundaries, it's a lot easier. You feel more happier. You feel more yourself. That's correct. There's no doubt in it. That your spouse or your kids might have another interested thing to do rather than what you do, and then you might have more interest, different interest. Like I might maybe watch movie. My husband might prefer more watching cricket, for a sake. But then you realize after a while, and you think this way, that even if we all have a separate interest, why we even need each other then? Because we all emotionally independent. That's what we're learning here, that we need to be emotionally independent. We need to be emotionally self-dependent. Sorry, that okay, I'm taking care of myself. If I want to eat somewhere, I will go by myself. If I want to go there, that's my choice. If I want to meditate for 2 hours, that's my choice. My family shouldn't be interfering me in that. That sort of thing. So then why they need me and why they need them? Because
so again, when I started about the boundaries, the first thing that I said was the safe, permissible, acceptable ways that you want to be treated and you want the other person to treat. Of course, we're all independent. We do not need anyone. We do not need to be married, to be in a romantic relationship. We do not need a mother. We do not need a father. We do not need a child. We can just be. We cannot be in a relationship with anyone. We do not need to do a job. We can just simply be wandering in the Himalayas, eating whatever we want to. But again, so as to answer your questions, to be in your own being, to be a independent person, not depending your needs, your happiness on someone, does not always mean that you do not want to love that person or want to be loved in return. This can also happen without any expectation, wherein you are not only respecting their self-care routine, their space, but sometimes also telling them, it'll be nice, if you do this. You're again telling them that it'll be nice if we do it. Let them come to you. We do not, sometimes we feel just because we are in a relationship with someone, or if we know someone, or if we have a right to exercise over someone, we can, just go and put our weight on them. Okay, I want this, so this should be done. It can be done in a very respectable manner also. And as to, if we do not need anyone, then we can go our separate ways. It's not always that. Everybody wants company. It's not that your partner or your children will never want to be with you, or or whatever that is. When you tell them, in actions, through words, what are your safe and permissible ways to be accepted in their relationship or the relationship you want to have with them. They will also come and share the same with you. And that is where a dynamic will be set. Then, again, also this insecurity that we have, if we are too independent, why the other person would be want? You can be totally independent and still the other person would want to be with you. They would want to sit with you, to talk with you, to have their life with you, or your children. That I am proud that you are my mom, because just because of how amazingly independent you are, and you're teaching me to be the same, because you've taught me to be independent with my own happiness. I do not want to depend it on someone, and yet I know how to create a harmony with the person I want to be with. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, right.
Boundaries does not mean that we are stepping out of a relationship, or we are just shoving them, just pushing them afar or something like that. No, it's just that we are kind of protecting our emotions, our vulnerability, and we are protecting ourselves from being used or being drained in whichever way that is. And it is okay to respect yourself. When you respect yourself enough, can you also respect the other person? You can only give from your cup when your cup is full. You can't give from an empty or half cup.
No,
Until unless you have your cup full, you cannot give that to the other person. And trust me, Namita, when I say this, again, because it's always great to give personal example. Initially, I would become needy sometimes, because I'm a very giving person in general. I'm a very, very giving person. When I love someone, I love someone. There is no, if and but. I am very black and white when it comes to loving people. And not only romantically, in general, in life, whether it be my friends or my family or my partner or my siblings, whoever it is. To an extent where I realized that somewhere I was expecting that how I am loving you, you should love me the same way. Yeah. Rather than teaching them through action, if I did not respect myself enough, I did not love myself enough, I should not have expected them to do the same. You teach by actions. The more you respect yourself, the more boundaries you create for yourself, healthy boundaries, respectable boundaries. But creating boundaries does not mean that you are pushing your relationships away. Setting boundaries does not mean that you will become rude, you will become intolerable, or you will become, someone who is unbearable for the other person to sit with. No. Boundaries is just wherein you decide that, okay, today I am taking my life back. I will not allow people to treat me a certain way that I've been treated before, because I know that I love myself, I respect myself enough, and I am ready to give the other people the same way. And I will teach people in ways permissible how I want to be treated. We are not taking projects here, but yes, sometimes we need to teach through action that, okay, this is how I want to be treated. And I would love nothing but to be treated that way, because I would love to treat you the same way. It's as simple as that. I hope I could answer your question.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, you did. I think what I learned so far is like, be happy with yourself. In that sense, you do what you like to do. In that sense, you're not waiting for someone always to entertain you, but because you have done what you love to do, it means you're happy inside. And then when you're happy inside, whenever they are available for you, because you start loving things what you do, it means you are busy now. So whenever they're available and you are available, and when you sit together, there is no complaints or resentment that you didn't come or you didn't do this and that. You simply enjoy the time. So so
when we're speaking about boundaries, it is not only your boundary is important. When you are respecting your boundaries, it is teaching you to respect other person's boundary also. Sometimes you might have to stretch for people who are very, very close to you. And it is okay. It is okay to stretch your boundaries for your children, for your husband, because they would do the same, because they love you. Yeah. Wherein there is respect, mutual love. See, it's your personal life. You can always, again, boundaries are evolving.
Yes.
They are situational. You can situationally change also. There could be, okay, so for example, now your boundary is that, okay, my time is very important. I have to do a certain class. It is my Reinvent class right now and I have to attend that. But what if your child falls sick and they need your 100% attention? Now the child is yours. You decided to bring that child. Now you have to see that your time is now demanded. You can just put on the video, not interact, keep it in your ear and still be there for your child, managing it, right? Just again, a very, I don't know if it is a lame example, but just trying
No,
to,
it's perfect.
put across a point. So we can always evolve according to the situations. We can always evolve. Boundaries can always evolve. However, it should not be disrespected either for yourself or for some other person. That's all. That's all we need to do. That's it.
Just a little one more.
Yeah.
When we set the spiritual boundaries, when you sleep down and then you cut your cord and you return all the energies, which and then you keep returning yours. Like, I'm just probably a little bit selfish question, but then if you are a lower tone of energy, for example, a little bit, or you have a lower energy day that day, and then somebody pumped in a good energy in you, or you meditate and then you receive a lot of energy in it. When you're doing that cord cutting thing and you're saying, I'm returning all the, are you returning all the positive energies as well?
No.
No,
it doesn't work that way.
Okay.
Because you are specifically saying any energy that does not resonate with me or is not aligned with me or is not aligned with my path, I'm returning it back to the sender. And I'm taking any energy back, because when you're taking energy back, you're also being, so you said, if I'm in a low energy, so you're also taking responsibility that I am not allowed to share that low vibrational energy with other person. If I want other people to share good energy with me, I should not be sending that vibe to other people. Taking responsibility as a spiritual person is a must. Again, those are the ego traps. I want everything, but I don't want to give that in return. I mean, I know you are not asking that, but I'm just saying, becoming aware for the littlest of things, it helps you so much. And I'm not saying you're going to be perfect. You will falter. We all make mistakes. I have fallen flat on my face and I've come back. And I know how it feels. I know how it feels.
I'm sorry. No, you
very
say,
small
sorry.
example. I recently physically lost my mother. It was right in July that I lost her to cancer. And before that, it's not that I did not understood other people's pain of losing a parent. But sometimes I used to, push hard that, if you're going to be in that state, you're not going to come out of it. Not that I was not understanding their pain, but sometimes you have to personally experience something to understand the other person's perspective, because a parent is irreplaceable, no matter what age you are. A parent is always going to be a parent, right? Especially if you are experiencing emotions. And again, going back to the class yesterday, and that is why, in these 21 days, everything is set in a line so that everything is related to the other class that you had, so you can relate everything thoroughly and you can understand better. The way you think, the way you are creating your reality in this present moment will also set the tonality of the boundaries you're going to have with the other person. That doesn't mean it is disconnecting you with the world, or you are if you're calling back your energy, that means that you're taking back all the lower vibration. No, just with that simple awareness that you want to take your power back, universe will respond in the most miraculous way that you can ever imagine. So always know there is, beyond time, beyond space, beyond your understanding of this limited human mind, there is this universe, there is the whole cosmos, this multiverse, which is taking care of you in ways that we cannot even think of. So being in that energy, being in that thought always, it might not always be there present, but you can always go back to this thought and remind yourself, okay, I will get through this. I will get through this time too. So just in relation to what you said, no matter what energy you're in, it's always easy to bounce back when you remember who you are in the beingness and in the isness. That is.
Oh, thank you, ma'am. I was more concerned, like when you meditate, because when you feel low, then you more meditate, yes, and you receive some cosmic energy, and you call your masters and teachers and receive some energy. And I was thinking, if I'm sleeping and I'm returning everything, then
you don't return this. No. This doesn't go. You only return which does not resonate with you, and you take back which is in resonance with you. That's it.
sense now.
That's
Makes
what
sense
it's a
now.
very healthy exchange that you do before you sleep.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Namita. Thank you so much.
Does anyone have any question, or should we wrap up the session?
I think Kalpana had raised her hand, but I think
Yeah, I
the
think
time just went up and then
I
she
took,
just lowered her hand.
took
So
so
if
long.
No, no, ma'am. I got my response in one of the questions,
Oh,
like,
okay.
yeah. So I don't know, ma'am. I have this question, like, whenever I listen to any sessions, I feel like it's kind of a revision to me. Like I already know this knowledge. It's
Yeah.
just like, revisioning. And whenever
Yeah.
master's asking, all these questions, those are wonderful responses, ma'am. I loved your Q&A session. Thank you so much.
I am so glad you said that, because we already know all of this. This information has always been there with us. It's just that we decide to meet certain people at a certain time to remind of all the reality that we already know. It's like we create that soul blueprint and we come here. But all of this we have seen before. We've learned this before in other lifetimes that we have lived. And we just like, okay, knock, knock, hi there, you're back, everything is fine, this is happening, you're in this reality. So it's like, that little gentle nudge from the universe that, dude, you know all of this. And it's just that, okay, everything is fine, everything is great and good. So yeah, that's about it. And thank you for sharing. I think it's needed. One thing I just want to give a big shout out to Arunji right now. This amazing, humble, gentle human being. Every reinvent, no matter it is 40 days, it is 3 a.m., it is 3 p.m., he is there. I am in amazement of you, sir. You make me proud, and you inspire me. He never fails to amaze me. He's just there. No matter how many times you say the same thing, I think he has heard this healthy boundary topic more than 6 times now. Every time we do this topic, I am just saying the same things. It's the same thing. Maybe some addition, obviously the energy is different. So something will be an add-on, but he's just there. Sir, you inspire me. I am so glad to know such great masters who just never tire of learning.
Thank you. Thank you.
Same. Sir, can we have a message from you, please? It would be really great to listen to you also.
Oh boy. I always, every time this Reinvent class is there, I always love it. And I learn a lot every time. And especially Radhika, you are very bold person. And I love to listen to you all the time.
Thank you, sir. Sir, as you call me bold, I would say that you are a very, very amazing and very open-hearted, open-minded being, because sometimes it is assumed that if you're in a certain age, you are not open-hearted. But I think you're an inspiration because, again, you prove that age is but number. With the open heart and the open mind that you come, it is not easy to do what you do. So thank you so much, sir, because you make us learn every day that there is no age for learning. There is no age to share your love and compassion that you hold in your heart. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you, sir.
I feel like I'm 20, anyway.
Oh, you are 16. What are you saying? Not even 20, 16, sir. What are you saying?
I know. I'm actually 72 right now, but I feel like I'm 20.
Of course. So you're 16. I would now just call you sweet 16. You're not 72, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I think Shivani raised her hand. Can you please share your message and then we'll close? I'm sorry. I know we are the hour, but yes, you wanted to say something.
Ma'am, I just quickly want to ask, recently what I've noticed with my old friends, like you said, you're like, I'm also a very giving person. Like I'll give. And what used to happen is if we have some misunderstanding and argument, I would always be the first one to go and, settle the things out. Now,
And say sorry, of course.
I've recently stopped. And then the other person is not coming and I'm like, it's okay. I don't care. Now, is it I am creating a boundary or is it my ego? What's happening?
You're definitely creating a boundary, and that is why I was applauding for you. Ego is when you're like, okay, I do not even want to listen to you. You've given enough, Shivani. There is a point. Today I shared a video where this beautiful man, he's saying that there is a limit to where you can exploit a good heart. Because there will come a time that good heart will stop giving. That good heart will not resonate with the energy because you are the toxic person. It is important to be aware of when you are being toxic in somebody else's life and when someone else is being toxic. And if you can be in that awareness, you're living a very good life, Shivani. So if you stepped back and said, okay, I should not be the one to say sorry at all times, then it is okay. You're creating a boundary, and that's perfectly fine. But yes, if somebody is willing, if, for example, that a friend, is very hard in expressing, it's very tough for them to express, you can reach out to them. If you do not reach out to them, then maybe you are creating a certain ego. When you feel calm, when you feel, okay, now I am in a good state, I'm not in any angry or disappointment and wala energies, then you go back to them and you reach out to them. Just example, you know who to reach out first and who not to reach out first. That is not being an ego, that is just respecting yourself foremost. So you cannot always be the bigger person. Sometimes you want to be, even the caregivers need care sometimes. The givers need giving sometime, that sometimes should come back. It is not expectation, it is balance, guys. Always remember, nature is always working in balance, and that is why Patriji always followed the middle path. Middle path is important. So yes.
Thank you, ma'am. Beautiful. Thanks.
There is someone in the group, Mishika. If anybody is connected to her, you can please share my number with her, because I think she wants to speak to me personally. If anyone knows her, you can share her number, or maybe I'll just.
Ma'am, Mishika is here, but we can.
No, I think she wants to speak personally, which is fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I think she asked twice. I missed her message before also. I've shared my number, Mishika, on your personal chat. You can text me there. So yeah, thank you so much for having me. And today I learned so much from all of you. It was a great session today. And thank you for upholding such beautiful energies. And
thank you, ma'am.
And Pari will take over from tomorrow again, and I will see you again for some other session. So I will again come back, and I will try to join in as many sessions I can. Even if if Pari is there, I would want to be there, and it's the energy that I want to be in and meditate together with you guys. So I'll keep coming now and then. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.